Call now on the Cure Hotline at 615-844-5600.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Monday afternoon to you. And yes, it is time for the McFarland Show for the next 2 hours here on WNSR. Darren and Justin here with you. Devlin is alongside here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Lots of things to get over.
Have things changed?
Not get over, but go over on the show.
Oh, no.
I don't think we're going to try to get over anything.
No, there's stuff to get over.
Yeah, there are things.
No.
Some people might not.
Come on now. There's stuff to get over now, Darren.
Yeah, but it's going to be harder for some than others.
Listen, there's no doubt about that. But there's going to be some healing that needs to take place here.
Yes, and we can start right there. By the way, I hope everybody had a great weekend. We will go east, and we'll check in with Vince Ferrara to begin the second hour of the program like we do every Monday and get the reaction of the Vols fans after they just absolutely took a pounding on Saturday night in Columbia, South Carolina. I know that nobody thought that could happen. No. Nobody thought that was going to happen. That line had gone off at 22, I believe it went off at kickoff.
Yeah.
22 point favorite on the road in the SEC. And they lost by 25?
At least. I haven't done the math. But yeah, a lot.
Yeah, 25.
Jeez.
And they were a 22-point favorite. They absolutely could not stop South Carolina.
No.
It was an epic beatdown, and I just sat there in disbelief. I couldn't believe, and then, of course, I'm sure everybody's heard, or most of you have heard by now.
Yeah.
The news is not good on Hendon Hooker. His career at UT is unfortunately over.
To end on a non-contact injury, and in South Carolina, it's just it almost seems unfair. But that's what happens sometimes, and for the Vol fans, it was almost too good to be true, and then it was, and the whole thing just came crumbling down in a way that. And I said this to a friend, I don't remember a worse loss for this school. And I know people were saying 2001 was really rough. And I disagree. I think this is worse than whatever happened back at that point. I mean, you're at the finish line. This is it.
Yeah.
He's South Carolina Vandy.
Well, there was one more game, but yeah.
But no. This was it, though.
Yes, agreed.
This was it.
Yeah.
And, for them to go down like this in this way after this season, when you do all the things they've done after Florida and LSU and Alabama, and then you catch this is some Pac-12 type of stuff, essentially.
No, this was Saturday.
Yeah.
If you watch Saturday, it was unreal. It was unbelievable watching the games on Saturday, especially the early games, Justin.
Yeah.
TCU had I said I tweeted
it was over.
Switch your names from Horned Frogs to Kitty Cats. I mean, you're cats. You have 9 lives. I don't know how you're doing this, but congratulations.
But they are.
You keep winning, and so I'm not going to knock you for that. They had absolutely no business winning that game. None. I mean, you talking about a gag job by Baylor, they gagged that away at home. They gagged it away. But credit TCU. They came back.
Yeah.
They did the fire drill, and they ran out there as the clock was ticking, and as they, hiked the ball, the game clock hit 00, and they hit it through the uprights. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then Sonny Dykes says after the game, we practice that all the time. I don't know if I believe it or not. I guess I have to. I don't. Look, if they practice that play right there, good on Sonny Dykes and TCU, because I don't know if I buy that or not. I really don't.
I mean,
but it worked.
However you can get it.
By the way, Justin, it looks like they practiced it, so who am I to say I don't know if I really,
Listen,
you're selling, I'm not sure I'm buying.
However you can do it. And to be honest, it doesn't matter. As long as they finish with more points than the other team when the clocks go 0, that's all that really counts.
Yeah.
And they do.
Yeah. And then you had Michigan at home against your beloved Fighting Illini. Illinois deserved to win. They deserve to win.
Yeah.
And Michigan, which, oh, by the way, on the, I think, second to last play, I don't remember which play it was. Maybe it was the last play before the field goal. I'm not sure. The catch that they, the non-catch that they called a catch, after looking at it and coming back and saying it was a catch, what? I said over and over and over again, that's not a catch. Nope, that's not a catch. Nope, they're going to come back. That is not a catch. After further review, that ball was on the ground. Not a catch. They came back. After further review, the play on the field stands. Oh, yeah, that's a good catch. No, it was not a catch. But nonetheless, they called it a catch. And Michigan lined up for the game-winning field goal, and they nailed it.
Yeah.
Just like TCU.
Yeah.
Both teams had no business winning that game. USC, UCLA in the nightcap. Mm-hmm. Well, was it that? Yeah, it was it.
Yeah, it was nightcap, yeah.
Yeah. UCLA jumps out to a 14-0 lead. I'm like, whoa.
Boy.
Hello.
All the back and forth in that game.
Hello.
That game was nonstop.
And then it was Then it was nuts the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But
just ring it up.
Again, USC wins too. So,
and listen, Ohio State.
I know.
Nearly.
And by the way, that game is not indicative of that score. So you can look at the score and say, "Oh, Ohio State won by double digits." No. Yes, they did. Literally, they did. They literally won by double digits. But if you watch the game, no, they did not win by double digits. They barely won by a field goal.
A couple of interesting calls in that game, too.
Yes, there were.
That went against Maryland that, yeah. Okay.
I agree. Honestly, I felt like everybody was going to go down on Saturday.
Yeah.
Everybody could have gone down on Saturday.
Some teams did.
Other than Georgia.
And here we are. And even the Georgia game, wasn't – and everybody knew Kentucky would play hard. And I think that's the part that we run into. Oftentimes we talk about division games in the NFL, and I say division games are more difficult because the teams are more familiar with each other. And all the games that you just talked about here were conference games. And in college football, the circles are already tight. You already trade assistant coaches basically every year. They go from one conference to the other conference, and from one team in the conference to another team in the conference. You already recruit the same players. Every UCLA and USC recruit the same people. Tennessee and South Carolina, half that team recruit. Some of them went to high school together and played against each other in high school. They know each other. When you have that kind of closeness, you are liable to come up with some doozies of football games, and that's what we've seen. Regardless of talent level.
Turn your car off. Sorry.
I
don't know if people can hear that, but it's annoying. Somebody turn your car alarm off, okay?
I understand. Okay.
Let's go to the Cure Hotline. 615. Thank you.
Let's do it.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, sorry.
Don't thank
Premature.
him. No, it's still going.
It's still going. 844-5600. Let's go down to Columbia. Nate is up next. Nate, what's up?
What's up, guys? I do not hear the car alarm.
It's off. It's off. Thank you.
We got it.
So, first, I didn't see the Florida game because I was busy moving, like I told you on Saturday, which went well.
Okay.
So
good.
And then went to the Preds game that night, which basically I got a double whammy. So did y'all see any of the Vandy game?
Yeah.
Because I heard about the last 10 seconds with
Yes.
Florida basically getting 7 free plays.
Yes. It's ridiculous. Nate, it was ridiculous. I'm screaming at the television, what in the hell is going on? Why is this happening? What? A guy catches the ball for Florida, and he's inbounds, and the clock stops. They flipped them.
And I heard it wasn't even a first down.
No. And the clock just stops at 2 seconds. And, oh, by the way,
The game's
he doesn't even get the snap off. It had hit 0-0, and they snapped it. It had already hit. The game was over, yet they allowed that play to go on. Look, let me just say right now, if Florida would have caught the ball in the end zone and they would have tied that game or won the game, oh my gosh!
And they could have done.
Just
the toss
telling
was
you.
not that far.
This would not be a local story. It would be a national story. Yeah. It would have gone viral. It was that bad at the end of the game.
Let me ask you this. Do you kind of wish it would have happened so it would be a story for y'all's show?
Nate, you listen to the show. What do you think my answer is?
Oh, HE double hockey sticks, yeah.
Heck yes, right? Heck yeah.
But yes, speaking of the double whammy, I am surprisingly, and I wanted to get in before Vince because I figured y'all would be like, oh, no, you're not. You're just so distraught. I mean, I'm not as upset as I thought I'd be with Tennessee losing to South Carolina. I mean, I was so mad in the moment, and I was like, what is happening? But I don't know. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I mean, they've had a great season.
Why not, though?
Yeah,
why do you think you feel that way?
Why?
Yeah.
Why you say?
Why do you feel that way?
That they had a great season?
Well, yeah. I mean, just think about it. You take care of that business. You take care of that game, and you're one game away. And I believe. Look, I ultimately believe they would have gotten in. I mean, they would have had an opportunity to play for a national championship.
Why aren't you upset?
Yeah,
Nate?
I guess that's the better way of putting it. Why aren't you mad?
I don't know. I mean, I just think. I mean, they've had a lot less success in the past, and so. Yeah, they lost one of the, I don't know that I want to say not biggest games of the season, because with they winning, it wouldn't have been a big game, but with them losing it, I guess you could say it kind of is.
Nate, I think I know why Nate's not upset, but Darren, if you want to go ahead.
Well, I would oppose this to both of you.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to weigh in, too.
Because I think I know why Nate's not upset.
Okay, all right. Well, you want to do that first?
Go ahead and ask your question, Professor.
If Michigan would have lost, and TCU would have lost, and USC would have lost, like they all three could have easily have done, would you still feel that way today?
Nate, would you still feel that way?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's why I asked it. Yeah.
So, Nate,
being honest, probably not. But I mean, I obviously I don't know. Taking the famous words from someone else in this city, like I said, probably not. I'd probably be a little more upset than I am right now, just because. Like y'all were saying, we would know that we at least have a chance, if not almost 110% chance, with the last game being a home game.
I think you would have been calling into the show hotter than a Roman candle on July 4th.
I don't think he would. I don't think he'd be mad at all.
Are you crazy?
I think he'd be at the same level he is now. No, let me tell you why. Let me get to my explanation. Nate, do you remember '98? Do you remember the national championship in '98, Nate?
He was a puppy, man.
No. I'm asking the question. I'm asking Nate. Nate, do you remember 1998?
Let me think. I was 5.
Okay, so Nate, let me ask you this question, good sir. Is this the most successful season of Tennessee football in your particular life that you can actually remember?
I'd say probably so.
That's why Nate is not upset, Darren.
Okay.
That's it. And that is really the long and short of it. That's why Nate is not upset. Nate is not upset
because he was in kindergarten the last time they won.
Nate never had national championship expectations for this particular football team, and they were playing with house money. And so for Nate and many fans like him. It's tough, it's sad, but it's really nothing lost. I mean, what happened? Were we expecting to win the national championship this year? We were not. Were we expecting to win the East this year? We were not. So we were coming into the season hoping to go, 9 wins would have been great. If you told any Tennessee fan back in August, you're going to go 9-3, they would have all taken that with glee. This is a team that lost to Purdue in the Music City Bowl last year. Yeah, they would have been just fine. So for guys like Nate, who was 5 when the national championship happened with T. Martin and company in 98, this is the most successful season of Tennessee football they have ever seen.
Darren, I don't think you were on the radio yet, in between your stops this year. I kept basically telling myself, you don't think Tennessee can win a national championship. I was not going to let myself think that. I didn't even let myself think that they were going to beat Florida, because that's always a toss-up game, nor Alabama.
Because you know why? Because they don't beat Florida or Alabama.
That's all he's known
during Nate's lifetime. Yes, they don't win those games anyway.
Yeah,
exactly. And so basically, yes, it's not a national championship, but for me, those 2 games are the most excitement I've seen in a long time.
I can appreciate all those answers, and I think those answers are good and acceptable. I'm telling you, if TCU and Michigan and USC would have went down on Saturday and that outcome happened, the level of mad today would be doubled. I'm just telling you.
Well, that means...
Because it doesn't matter how old you are, a Tennessee fan would be going, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? It was all they had to do was win, because now there is no more drama. It would have played out where you just got to win that game on Saturday, and you're going to get an opportunity to play for a national championship. You're going to get an opportunity. You'll be in the playoffs.
I tell you what, it feels a whole lot closer, like a 1-touchdown game. And like you were saying, TCU, Michigan, they lost. I would probably be 10 times as mad right now, because that would hurt a lot more.
Okay. All right, good stuff, Nate. Appreciate the phone call.
Thank you, Nate.
Of course. You have a great one.
I'm just telling you, Justin.
I understand your
Tennessee fans would have lost their minds.
I understand.
Including my wife. Okay?
I understand.
Lost their minds.
But there is a generational gap here and difference between those who remember 98 like we do vividly, and those who 98 is a vague, fuzzy memory, if it's a memory at all. And this is literally the most successful season they've ever seen. They beat LSU, they beat Bama, and they beat Florida all in the same year. This is a dream season for Tennessee football that they haven't seen in a couple of decades.
All right, we'll come back, and we will bring in former NFLer, former Blue Raider, former OC at Riverdale, Kelly Holcomb. We're going to hit him with a variety of topics on the other side. Team planes, plane surface, quarterbacks, Titans. We're going to get into a bunch of stuff with Kelly Holcomb on the other side as you listen to the McFarland Show here on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here.
Douglas is a real Prevagen user and paid testimonialist. My name is Douglas. I'm 79 and I live in Chicago. I'm a writer, director. I used to be a marathon runner. Now I'm a walker. And the kind of work that I do, you are surrounded by people who are all younger than you. Memory became a factor. As everyone gets older, where did I put my keys? But I had to get help to stay competitive. I happened across Prevagen and I started taking it. I saw myself having an improved memory, which at the same time, I felt better about myself. I could not be doing what I'm doing today had it not been for Prevagen.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Prevagen is available in stores everywhere. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who were cognitively normal or mildly impaired, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Tired of the same old company holiday party and looking to reward your team with a fun night out? What about something different for a birthday party or group gathering? Hello, this is Philip Cox of Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, and we specialize in group events no matter the size at our Tusculum, Donaldson, Hermitage, Murfreesboro, and Hendersonville locations. Plus, Hendersonville and Murfreesboro offer enhanced entertainment options with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. 'Tis the season to have fun with family, friends, and business associates, and there's no better place to do it than at Strike and Spare Family and Fun Center. Visit strikeandspare.com to learn about the group outing option. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Hey, it's Sammy Kincaid, host of Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid. Every Saturday morning from 9 to 10, listen in as I highlight women in sports from high school to the pros, athletes and administrators. And you know what? Let's talk some ball with women covering the game across the country. Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid is every Saturday morning. Listen in on Nashville Sports Radio from 9 to 10 a.m.
USA. USA has struck first in
Yes, they
Qatar.
have.
World Cup action. USA leading Wales 1-0. Back here on the McFarland Show. Darren and Justin here with you tonight. It'll be the 49ers and the Cardinals in Mexico City.
Without Kyler Murray.
Without Kyler Murray. He is out. But
Colt McCoy.
don't worry about it. They got things covered. Colt McCoy is the man.
Yeah.
As they found out last week.
Listen, if anybody's used to coming in off the bench in high-profile situations.
It's Colt McCoy. This man has come off the bench as well.
Yes, he has.
In his career.
In high-profile situations.
And he's also been a starter.
Yes, he has.
In his career. Kelly Holcomb now joins us here on WNSR. Kelly, what's up?
I'm good, fellas. How y'all doing?
Good. What do you make of the NFL this season? You had a game in Munich, Germany for the first time. They're playing in Mexico City tonight. We know the typical London games, which have been ramped up. Now they're playing more than ever. By the way, let me just start there. Did you ever play anywhere else outside of North America when you played?
I did. We went to. It's funny you say that because we played. I think it was the Pittsburgh Steelers when I was with the Colts in a preseason game in Mexico City.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. So everybody was talking about do not drink the water. Do not drink the water.
Well, besides the water, how was that experience?
It was a cool. We just flew in for like a game, and then we flew out. It's kind of like it was just kind of like a away game, but I think we might have stayed there a day. We went a day early, but it was cool. It was amazing how big Mexico City is. If you've ever been to Mexico City, and how many people are there, it's crazy.
That's interesting because I think I've read or heard that the 49ers have been there for a bit, and the Cardinals have not, and I guess altitude is a big deal there, kind of like in Colorado.
I think they were talking about the altitude there. Yeah, when I was playing, I do remember that. Now that you say that, they were talking about the altitude and how much it was different and how it was up there, and you had to kind of get used to it. I can remember I think our strength coach John Serene was talking about that. So it's a cool place to play. It's different. When you go to all these other places, like I remember when I was in Barcelona, and this was when I started my career. I played in the World League of American Football, and then they went on to call it NFL Europe. But the first game we went to an overtime game with Amsterdam, and the people did not know about the overtime. So after the end of regulation, everybody left. and then another thing was, I was one of the new guys. There'd been a couple of guys that played there before, but when the people get upset and pissed at you over there in Europe, they whistle.
Oh.
And I didn't understand. I'm like, why are all these people whistling? And he was like, that's their booing. I'm like, okay, whistle all you want. I could care less about that. You know what I'm saying? Whistle all you want, but that was different to me. So it was cool to go to another place and play. It's cool to understand it, but it's obvious that the NFL is trying to expand. I mean, I can't imagine. I think didn't they talk about it a couple of years ago about having a team in London?
Oh yeah,
It's been talked about quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I can understand. Like, man, that's a lot of money. Like, my daughter just played in Hawaii, and I was thinking about that. She had a basketball tournament in Hawaii. They're on their way back tonight, but just think of the money that Hawaii had to spend to come over here. I mean, it's like 4 hours, 5 hours across the ocean, and you have to do that every time you have an away game. So I'm like, how does the money correlate with that? And that's the same thing with the NFL. I mean, if you have a team that's based in London, I mean, all these teams are going to have to spend so much money of getting their teams there, and the hotel rooms is different. I mean, it's just I don't know, it's different, but you can obviously see where the NFL is trying to expand and have a team probably in another country.
One thing I've always told people, Kelly, is it doesn't matter how you're traveling, private jet, first class, however, travel's real no matter what, right? It doesn't matter what you're on. The travel is real, and trying to get your bearings straight. I mean, the Predators dealt with this starting off over in Prague, their regular season, then coming back here, coming back and doing that stuff. I mean, it takes a while to get reacclimated, right? Your body clock and everything. That's real stuff too.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't matter what you go in. Like you said, you like to travel. I've traveled in private jets, and I sure do like that. But still, you got to get in the plane. You got to get there, and then, if you have a team over there like in London, I couldn't imagine, having a base team out of London, and then every away game they've got to travel across the ocean, and you go to different time zones. Just think if they had a game out at San Francisco. I mean, or Seattle. I mean, that's just kind of crazy right there. So I don't know. I don't know where you go from that. I don't know if it could work, but it seems like they're sure trying things. So, the NFL's more popular than ever. I still love it. I think it's the greatest game in the world. But from the things that they're doing, you see like they want to expand some.
You played in the league for a long time. So, again, without knowing, there's a real shot. You may have experienced this too. Buffalo moved their home game to Detroit indoors because they got about 40 feet of snow. I mean, the entire city, I think, is, under snow. And so they moved it. But it's not. They have done that before. Did you ever have anything like that happen when you played for the Bills?
I didn't have our game rescheduled and moved, but we did have a snowstorm like that. Now, it wasn't as bad as what they've had now. We just had my wife has got some really good friends up there that we made, and she sent us some pictures. And it all depends on that snow belt. I don't know if people know what the snow belt is, but if you're in that snow belt, you get a massive amount of snow, and it goes from like the start. The top of it is in Orchard Park, then it goes to Erie, Pennsylvania, and then it's on the north side of Cleveland. So if that snow belt starts working, man. Somebody told me they had 77 inches of snow in the stadium.
That's right.
And I know you've seen the pictures, but when I was there, we had a freak October storm, and it rained. It not rained, but it snowed 3.5 feet in October. And we were telling people the other day. Me and my wife, I can remember this just plain as day. I mean, it was snowing, and we opened the windows because it was warm. I mean, it was warm, but we still had 3.5 feet. But you could hear all the power in the transformers. I mean, it sounded like 4th of July. They were all cracking and popping because the snow was so heavy. So it's that weather up there is kind of a phenomenon, and it's crazy. We were out of power that week for 2 weeks. We were out of power. So they were kind of surprised by that storm too. Normally they get all the roads clean and all that. They've got all the trucks and everything. they weren't prepared for that at that time. Now, it's in November, so I'm sure, everybody was telling me that I talked to up there said they had the streets clean and everything, but like down at Orchard Park, they got hammered the other day. So it's kind of it's an oddity, but it does happen up there. And it's just one of those things where, that's why all those people have a good time up there. If you're going to live in it, you're going to join a ski club, you're going to get a snowmobile, you're going to, you got to get out and you got to enjoy it. But when it gets that much snow, it's crazy.
Kelly Holcomb on the line with us. I don't know if you're going to lobby for DeMaurice Smith's job whenever he steps down. I think in March, I believe, is when he's done as the head of the NFLPA. I was watching Outside the Lines today, and I want to get your thoughts on this because, again, you played on both surfaces. And their topic today, and they had Matt Schaub on, who I believe, in all seriousness, is very, very interested in being the next head of the NFLPA, and I think he played 17 years in the National Football League, and I'm sure your paths have crossed with Matt Schaub over the years as well. But playing on the turf and playing on grass, the players are pushing really hard, and you've heard Aaron Rodgers and other players come out this year really strongly about how they want to play on natural grass and how it would eliminate non-contact injuries. The NFL has put out their own report that says, it's kind of the same, non-contact injuries on turf and in grass, so it's whether you believe that or not. You as a former player, how do you feel about that subject matter?
I am I'm a grass guy. I'll be honest with you. I'm a grass guy. I was telling somebody when I was still coaching up here over at Riverdale, everybody up here is getting turf fields now. Like Oakland's got it, Blackman's got it, I think Smyrna's got it. And I know it's a lot of headache when you got a grass field because you got to paint the fields, you got to paint all your logos, you got to spend a lot of money, and all the money is in the turf field is up front. I mean, all that stuff's painted for you, and you don't have to do any maintenance on the fields. But I don't know about all the studies. I just like being on the grass field. I like the way it does. I mean, and I will say, Aaron Rodgers is the top. I haven't paid attention to it, Darren. I really hadn't, but I think it does. Like the grass and the dirt and stuff will give. When you get on those, especially the turf that I played on a long time ago, which was just a piece of carpet over some concrete, which was awful. But I'm just not a big fan of all these turf fields, man. You get turf burns on there, and you get a lot of guys that, get staph infections from the turf, and then you carry that stuff around. You carry that infection around with you. You get it in the weight room, and you get it all over places. So, I'm just a grass guy. I've always been a grass guy. I think that's where the game, started. If you're looking for saving money, you're going to have to spend the money up front on those turf fields. But if you're asking me, I'm with the guys that want just grass. I think all 32 teams need grass myself.
Kelly, you played for some organizations that had not won the Super Bowl in a very long time, if ever, in certain situations there. We here in Nashville are entering our mid-20s as a NFL football city where we have been to the Super Bowl where we haven't won it. Can you talk about, just from a player's perspective, do you ever feel, or did you ever feel, the presence or the expectation or the tightness at times of people really, really being hungry for a win and just not having had the chance to get that?
I don't really think as a player you really think about that. I mean, that's what everybody talks about at the beginning of the year, but, you kind of know where you're at. And I think the fan base kind of knows. They're so into it now, with all the social media. They're kind of into it now. Like, if you have a team that's going to win it. I don't know if, I never got to play in a place like Pittsburgh. I never got to play in a place like New England that, winning became synonymous with those guys. So, I still think the Pittsburgh Steelers hold the record with, is that 7 Super Bowls? Is that correct? Am I right with that, with the franchise?
6 or so, yes.
Yeah. Obviously, New England's there, Pittsburgh's there, San Francisco.
Yeah.
I think New England's got 6, right? And then I think the 49ers have 5.
The 49ers
and then
have
after
5.
Sunday, all the Cowboys fans today are counting the Super Bowl for this
Oh, well, that's how Cowboys fans are. They had they're kind of like, hey, I'm not trying to throw this up, but they're kind of like Tennessee fans. When things are going great like that, hey, we're going to the college football play. Well, you still got a lot of games to play, so who knows? So, I'm sure that's a sore subject with y'all, but I don't know if you ever think about that as a player. I think when you go into it, you know your team and you know how you're trending, some of the acquisitions you've made and how they're going to fit on your team and if they are going to fit. And I think you kind of get that. But I don't know if there was any added pressure. Like you said, I was never on one of those teams. I was on, Indianapolis when I was there when Lindy and Fondy was there and Harbaugh was a quarterback and I backed him up for a couple of years. And, we weren't very good. And then Peyton came and we went 3-13. And then the next year, after his rookie year, we went 13-3. So we had the biggest turnaround in NFL history. So, I think I left not that year, but the year after. And, I guess it does become, where you're expected to go, like Kansas City right now. I mean, I think they're, with the players that they have, they're probably expected to go. I never was part of that. But I think, when you go in it, how your team is and how you guys play together and how well you play together. And I think that kind of puts I don't know if it puts pressure, but I think it's just in a situation where it feels good. You're ready to go do it. You're ready to go play with your boys, and you got a chance at the end. That's all you ask for at the end of the year, just to make the playoffs where we have a chance. And if you get on, a hot streak like the Pittsburgh Steelers did when Ben Roethlisberger and Jerome Bettis had his deal up in Detroit. I mean, those guys are 9-7, and nobody ever thought that they were going to go to the Super Bowl, and they got on a hot streak there at the end. And all you're looking for is a chance at the end of the year.
Yeah. Can you talk about the tremendous thing you were able to do, and that is go from one of the smaller schools on the college football landscape anyway, all the way to the NFL, and how much that process may have changed over the past few years as far as going from some of the smaller schools all the way to the National Football League?
Wow, it's funny that you're asking me that because Tim Couch and I were texting back and forth with each other today, and I was asking some questions. Yeah, I was asking some questions about some guys, but you know what? It's just like the situation that my son ran into, and unfortunately, he's like his dad. He didn't grow very fast, and he's got the ability, he's got the arm talent, he's got the smarts. He's got the determination and desire, but, really the only thing that was wanting to give him a chance was Troy, and that's where he is. And, you look around the landscape of the league now, I'm not a big fan, but if you're going to a big Power 5 school or you're going to the SEC, they don't even look at you if you don't fit the part. And, that's what I think that's so good about what Stetson Bennett's doing at Georgia. The guy is 5'10", and he's $190, something like that. And, I'm for guys like that. That's why I've talked about Ryan Tannehill and late because, he went to Miami and he didn't play well. And then he came up here and he had to sit behind Marcus Mariota, and he bided his time, and now look what he's doing. I'm still a Ryan Tannehill fan because the guy kind of came up the hard way. I mean, he was never given anything, and he just worked. And I think that's what's missing in college sports right now, man, and especially at big-time college football. It seems like the coaches don't want to develop kids anymore, and I thought that's what it's about. I mean, you're looking at, you got these coaches now looking at a kid, and if he's 6'4", 210 pounds, and he plays outside linebacker in high school, well, you got to look at him and look at it. Hey, he might have a baby face. Look at his feet. Look at his hands. He's going to be bigger, but they're like, well, and this happened to one of my buddies that his son wanted to go to Florida, but Dan Mullen told him, or the coaches there told him he wasn't big enough, and he was 6'4", 210. And then he ended up going to Michigan. So, I mean, you can tell that, I mean.
Wait a minute. Wait, Kelly. What? What did you just say? Kelly, that doesn't make any sense, sir. I'm not saying you're lying to me, Kelly. That's not what I'm saying at all. Don't get me wrong, Kelly. It just doesn't make any sense, sir.
I'm telling you, bro. My buddy, and I'm not going to say his name, but he was one of my good friends. He was a tight end at the Colts. And the coach told him that he needed to be 230. And I wanted to say, I wanted to tell him, I said, I wish he would have told me that right in front of me because can you not look at him and say he's going to grow? Like, once he got on campus, he's going to gain 20 pounds in a week. You know, so, I mean, that's kind of where college is, man. That's, you know, my son was undersized, and, you know, I told him that, you know, if I got recruited, I went to school at 157 pounds as a true freshman. And it took me a week to win a job, and Coach Donnelly then had me eating, it felt like 18 times a day. And I played Florida State when they were number one in the country. I gained 3 pounds. I was 160. I was 160 pounds, and you know that's why a lot of schools, they wouldn't recruit me, and they didn't think I could make it in the SEC because I've heard people tell me that. And, you know, I'm glad that I went where I went. It made me mentally tougher. I'm glad I got to coach play under Coach Donnelly because he was a hard ankle, and I love him to death. I wanted to fight him each and every practice, every day. But, you know, he kind of made me who I was.
Real quick on the way out, Kelly, team planes when you were playing, did they serve alcohol on those team planes when you played?
Why are you going to ask me that on the radio, Darren?
All right. Well, okay. Let me ask you this then: is that a hard rule?
All I know is it's available, man.
Okay, I got you. So, is that a hard rule that's always been there, and it's just something that, you know, teams are like, yeah, we got it, but, you know, because I mean, Mike Vrabel's obviously asked that on Friday, and he completely avoided the question. But we all know, right? I mean, we all know. But I don't have a problem with it personally. I mean, I don't see I don't even know why it's that big of a deal. I understand with what happened, but just because something does happen doesn't mean that you can't still do it responsibly. I mean, people are going to mess up, but you just have to be responsible about it. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I don't know. You may feel differently.
You're answering the question. You're answering the question yourself. I mean, it's available. Let's be honest. Let's don't be naive to the fact. I mean, you know, you just, you know, one of the greatest things in the world, and not a lot of people get to experience this, but is winning a game in the NFL. It's really, really hard. And it's just like in any professional sport. When you win a game, man, you feel all the stuff that you did in the off season and the preseason and, you know, getting those weights in, getting that extra film work in, getting those extra couple of throws to win a game. I mean, that's so exciting, and you know, you're happy after it. I mean, that's why Jeff Saturday gets up and says, hey, we'll see y'all Wednesday on his first victory. You know, I mean, there's something about winning in the National Football League that guys are happy about it. And there's a lot of things that go on behind closed doors that, that's just one of those things that guys are going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, you got to be responsible about it. You can't go out and do that. But, I mean, they just won a huge game in Green Bay where the offense played really well. I mean, Ryan Tannehill was throwing the ball all over. He had one mistake in the game. They went up there to the frozen tundra and beat the trash out of the Green Bay Packers on their home field on a Thursday night where everybody was watching. Mm-hmm. And it was snowing and it was cold. I mean, that stuff happens, Darren. You know that. You guys know that. I mean, that's just part of life. And, everybody blows things up nowadays, with the social media and with everybody talking about it and with us talking about it on the radio. It gets blown up. But, I mean, they're people just like you and I are. And they're going to have a good time. They just want a heck of a football game, and that's, they have fun. I mean, we had fun on the planes, man. It's just fun. I mean, when you see Kirk Cousins on there dancing, I mean, it's fun,
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, appreciate the visit, as always, Kelly. Always good to talk to you, and we'll talk to you down the road.
It's an honor, sir.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
That is Kelly Holcomb, former MTSU Blue Raider, longtime quarterback in the National Football League. Great dude.
Man.
Great dude. I will see him a week from today at a bowling event, a charity bowling event. So
Very
I'm
cool.
looking forward to that.
Very cool.
All right, we'll come back. More on the other side as you listen to the McFarland Show, WNSR.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Are you in trouble?